Reef Xtreme team comprising of skiers Craig Dove, Scott Browne, driver Richard Partington, myself, John Arnott the observer, Paul Browne the navigator, Craig Kilby team coordinator and Paul Mitchell the ground crew. Took off, it was quite rougher than we anticipated, but as we got into the trip, we had to keep going and going and going. Craig was starting to become sore. 2 hours into the trip, he complained of a sore hip. Scott, skiing beside him, gave him the inspiration to keep going. As we kept going further and further into the trip, we were at the mercy of the seas. The swell got up to about 3 metres. The clouds started to come in. Scott was pushing Craig on and on and on. And then 5 hours into the trip, Scott had a fall. And then the cold set in. And unfortunately, the cramps in his muscles forced him back into the boat. But what a ski it was. He covered 200 kilometres in just over 4.5 hours. Not only did he surpass the distance of the previous record, but he did it in half the time. Just off Mornington, the Channel 9 News helicopter joined us and followed us all the way to the mouth of the Patterson River. After 7 hours and 19 minutes, the crew got out of the boat and Craig staggered ashore.
Today's Herald, who's water skied all the way from Tasmania. Good on him. Fantastic work. Craig Dove, yes, he's water skied Bass Strait all the way across 360 k's. Do you fancy having a go?
You can't water ski Bass Strait,
well, he has. He has waited for it to be particularly glassy.
I don't think it's possible.
So,
I'm sorry, I've done Bass Strait.
All right, okay. You've skied across Bass Strait.
Barefoot. I'm sorry, I'm not usually controversial, but I absolutely do not believe that is possible. I'm going to make it my mission to find that man and talk to him on this show. I need to know how that's possible, because I did the Spirit of Tasmania, and gosh, was I sick.
And Bridget, you have done just that. You have Craig Dove on the phone now, ready to talk to us. Craig, hello, welcome to the cage.
G'day guys, how are you?
Hey Craig, I am such a person to be proud of others if they do good things, but I really, really find this difficult to believe that you skied Bass Strait.
Well, I did hear, Bridget, that you were a bit of a doubter of my conquest.
Craig, I did Bass Strait, not barefoot, that was a lie. I did it in the Spirit of Tasmania, and I was sick into my dinner. I was really, really seasick. Now,
that's because you think the Spirit of Tasmania is Bailey's Irish Cream. Craig, until you took on the 360k Tassie to the mainland ride, what was the longest continuous bit of water skiing you'd ever done?
Probably out in training, the longest bit of skiing I'd done. I went out for about 4 hours, so.
Right.
But that was a little bit shorter than the 7 hours and 19 minutes that it ended up taking.
And were conditions particularly smooth for you? Is that why you did it now?
At this time of the year it is, but I wouldn't say the conditions out there were what I imagined. I thought it would be a lot smoother out there, but it was definitely still quite choppy and swelly, so it wasn't calm, but it was the Bass Strait.
From my experience at Bass Strait, Peter Roaston here, Craig, good work, mate. I've noticed in my experience out there, you get a big swell, but you also get the waves on top of the waves.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean? So you
actually
go
happens,
chop,
yeah.
chop, 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 big dip, chop, 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 big dip. Now, on a ski, can you vomit on skis?
Well, at one stage near the heads, I thought I was going to, but it was quite hard, and that wasn't something that I had factored into when I was going to ski across. It was going to be the case, and that that's what Scott Browne actually had to succumb to, because it's just the pounding on your body non-stop. It wasn't like we could even stand up and have a rest or anything. And now, what I don't know if a lot of people understand is, for the whole 7 hours and 19 minutes, we only stopped once, and that was for about 10 minutes to let Scott get back in the boat, and then we just kept going again.
Right, so you never at any stage thought, well, we're out of sight of Tassie now, I'll just get in the back of the boat, and then before we hit the heads, I'll just jump out the back. Well,
it's strange that you say that. When the other skier got in, the driver said to me, he goes, look, let's just get in there, because he goes, you're not going to make it. And I said, I said, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm doing it for my own personal satisfaction, and I'm skiing the whole way, even if you have to tie my hands to the boat and drag me.
But Craig, I still don't get how you did it, because, look, I've been to the treacherous waters of the World Conference, and Bass Strait is one of them. That's right up there. It's one of the most treacherous pieces of water in the whole wide world. Now, how could you... I just don't get how you stayed on your ski.
I suppose a lot of determination, not wanting to let anyone down, like my sponsors and stuff like that. A lot of people have poured a lot of money into it.
You must be so brilliant at skiing to be able to do that.
Would it have been easy on 2 skis? You used 1 ski, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely easier on 1. I do use 2 skis. I used to formerly ski for the Moomba ski show team, but now I ski with our own ski show team, which is called the Reef Xtreme show team. Right. But you've got 2 skis to control. It's a lot harder. You've got to work overtime to control both of them. It's easier just to control one. So.
Yeah. And were there any stunts on the way? Did you slalom around King Island or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. The only thing that did worry me a bit was it did say in the paper we did have a shark scare, but that was actually when Scott was getting back in the boat. Right. They were pulling him in, and the next minute the boat comes roaring across to me, and they just ripped me straight out of the water. And I said, "Hey, put me back in. I'm not getting in the boat." And they just pointed back to the water, and I look around and there's a heap of fins, but it was actually the dolphins. They were just coming to say hello. Yeah. But let me tell you, it was an anxious moment. I didn't know what they were until one of them come up and like nearly nosed my ski with his nose, like he come up and touched it type of thing, and then disappeared, and then they were all jumping around the boat. But that was the most amazing side of it, I think, was just watching the dolphins follow us. They followed us for ages.
And you know, after watching you, they're all talking to each other going, it's true, we are more intelligent than you.
This guy's a loser.
They probably were too. Look at this fool.
So, Dubby, what's next for you now? Are you going to get a couple of mates and maybe a couple of chicks to stand on your shoulders and go back again?
Oh, well, I will have to do something else, I think.
Just put the rope in your teeth.
She definitely won't like me doing anything else, but we will think of something, but I think it's going to be hard to beat, to be quite honest.
Craig, I think you're absolutely amazing. Why don't you try rowing? Because a few people have tried rowing it recently and they didn't get very far. Why don't you give that a go?
Well, we had a website. There's a website where people could write in, not our own. It was on ski.com or something, and there was a few people that actually said that we should be fined and shouldn't be allowed to go across there, but the safety gear that we had to take and all that, like, I can't believe those rowers didn't get too far, did they, really?
No, really. So you reckon you'd ever attempt it again, maybe just on a rubber tyre?
Sit on the tube, you reckon?
Do you reckon? Would you tube across, do you reckon?
I'd give it a go. It'd have to be easier than skiing. I think at least you get to sit down.
Yeah. Well, Craig, congratulations, mate. You're only the second person ever to achieve the feat water skiing across Bass Strait.
It's amazing. I'm still finding it hard to believe.
Thanks. Well, mate, we just spent 7 minutes telling you he's done it. You have to believe him now.
Look, Bridget, next time if I do it again, if I have to do it again, I'll let you sit in the boat.
Either that or on your shoulders.
Oh, that might make it a bit harder for me, though.
Good on you, Craig. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dubby.
The cage for your drive home, Triple M.
Has done just that. He skied a distance of 360 kilometres on skis all the way from Stanley in Tasmania's northwest to Victoria's Port Phillip Bay. And Craig Dove joins us now from Port Melbourne. Morning, Craig. How tough was it?
Oh, good morning, Steve. It was pretty tough, let me tell you. There was definitely a lot of times I thought I wasn't going to make it.
3-metre waves, storms and the shark scare. Tell us about that.
Well, when we were travelling along, we got about halfway and you could see the weather closing in on us. There was a bit of a rain front coming across. We got up to the rain front and it was pretty choppy just before the rain, and then we we skied on through, and in the centre it was all nice and calm, and then when we skied out the other side of the rain, it was all rough again.
We're looking at vision of your skiing now. Did you get worried when you couldn't see the towboat because of the wave heights?
Not at that stage, because I had the my other skier with me, Scott Browne, who skied, you know, for most of the way with me until his body succumbed to cramps and stuff. So no, when I was with him, because I could chat to him and look at him, it was quite comforting. When you say you could chat to him, tell me about the communications. Are they just visual communications between you and the towboat, or have you got radio communication? We set up radio communication. My helmet's over on the front of the boat. It's got the radios in it, and I could drink and stuff like that. Right. So I could communicate to the boat and to the other skier next to me, yeah. Craig, how critical is the driver in something like this? You actually got to really trust your driver. If you don't trust your driver, you're in a bit of trouble, because he virtually knows how I ski. So when he got to big waves, he'd slow down for both of us and help us out. And he knew when we were getting tired and stuff, just by us talking to him and by the observer telling him what we were like. How much damage does something like this do to your body? Not too much. I was a bit sore yesterday. I was having trouble walking, but today I've got out of bed and I'm quite fine. Would you do it again? Definitely not tomorrow, that's for sure. I'd have to think about it. Look, if someone went out and beat my time, I suppose I might, but otherwise, no, I'd give it a bit of a miss. It was a lot harder than what I thought. All right, well, they say you love a challenge, and I'm sure you've got your eye on the next one. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us. Thanks, Steve.
Yet the craft built to explore the spectacular coastlines of Australia and the rest of the world owe much of their design and construction development to a Riviera created for a very different purpose. The 150-mile-an-hour world of offshore powerboat racing. This is the Riviera Class 1 offshore powerboat, winner of the Australian Offshore Powerboat Championship and the fastest powerboat in Australasia. It's powered by two turbocharged and supercharged 12-litre V8 two-stroke diesel engines, each producing 1,350 horsepower. Each engine can consume 200 litres of fuel an hour. This 13.5-metre long carbon fibre surface-to-air missile is capable of over 150 miles an hour. It competes not only in Australia, but internationally in the Class 1 UIM World Offshore Powerboat Championship Series, the ultimate motorsport on the water. Perilously fast, dangerous, exhilarating.
Offshore powerboat racing is growing in popularity, especially in Europe, the attraction being lots of power and a lot of speed. You can flip it on its roof quite easily.
I like to win. I don't like to lose. The only thing I don't like is the aches and pains on Monday morning.
On the European racing circuits, names like Lamborghini, Honda and Pepsi are supporting sophisticated powerboats. Speeds on the European racing circuit are in excess of 160 miles an hour, or 260 kilometres an hour. Offshore powerboat racing attracts greater spectator support than even Formula One motor racing in many European and Middle Eastern countries. One race in Turkey was viewed by 2 million spectators on the shore, and it's the #1 sport in the United Arab Emirates.
Over 400 million homes in 40 countries receiving the official programming. The exposure value for Class 1 continues to mushroom.
TV audiences are in the billions as it is broadcast to over 160 countries, while millions follow the sport on the internet. Entrants come from 16 countries, including USA, Canada, Brazil, Italy, Norway, Great Britain. During the 2000 season, the Shell Riviera race team achieved a second place in Italy against the world's most professional teams. Needless to say, the effort that goes into developing these race boats to permit such performances means the teams are constantly squeezing every ounce of performance from their engines, experimenting with the latest materials and advanced hull designs, ensuring the boats plane with minimum drag and maximum speed. The Riviera team has designed and developed not only several Class 1 powerboats, but has also built a craft for the more fiercely competitive Class 2 World Powerboat Series. It is shorter, lighter and potentially even faster than its twin-engine bigger brother. This advanced design has been created by Riviera Group founder and chairman Bill Barry Cotter and was built entirely on the Gold Coast.
It's a single-engine boat, which is the first single-engine catamaran, to my knowledge, that's particularly in Class 2. We've used the best of the carbon and the best of all the materials in it. It should be every bit as fast as the Class 1 boat that we're running now, which should make us a lot faster than really any of the Class 2 boats in the world.
With half the weight will throw us into the air further.
The Riviera Class 2 powerboat has been built from materials used in the construction of Formula 1 racing cars. It has a carbon fibre composite hull with a Nomex honeycomb deck. It has exceptional strength, yet at a little over 3,000 kilos is incredibly lightweight. Whilst the hull is a work of art, the engine is truly state-of-the-art. In fact, the Riviera race team has built an engine that develops 1,350 horsepower. That's over 150 horsepower more than even the engine manufacturer, Detroit Diesel of the USA, has ever achieved with their own engine. With this new Class 2 powerboat, the Riviera race team is confident of building even further on their past Class 1 successes. And as if building a race boat isn't a challenge in itself, driving one is something else again.
The first 20 minutes of it, I think, what the hell am I doing here? Then the adrenaline takes over. On a calm race, these boats are running at 20-odd mile an hour more than a jumbo's doing on landing. They're pretty fast. Talking to a pilot, actually, that had driven one of the race boats, he said sort of driving one of these was like flying an aeroplane in a permanent state of crash landing. It's easy enough to get it on the plane, but the problem at a start, we don't know exactly what time the starter's going to drop the flag. So if we accelerate, as soon as we've got boost, got the engines under load, we've got to keep going. Now, if we're too fast and we have to back off, we'll lose the boost. So we've got to drop the boat off the plane and start all over again. As you get the boat underway, you've got the throttles, and then over here you've got your trim. Well, obviously we'll start off with the trim right up, which takes as much load off the propeller as we can. As soon as the engines are up to their maximum RPM, we'll start to trim down till you're comfortable with the speed and the attitude of the boat, and really drive the thing as hard as you can drive it without breaking it.
Basically, my job as the driver is, as we're coming into the corners, is to keep an eye on the trim indicator to let me know what position the drives are in. Bill does all the trim and controls the attitude of the boat, but it's my job also as a double check. When we trim up to go around the corner, we can get round the corner quicker, and the attitude of the boat changes for cornering. My position as driver is also picking up ballast. Ballast is used to keep the nose of the boat down in rough conditions to take on more weight. I'd liken it to a rally race, rally car. You see them on TV with the onboard cameras. They're flying, their heads are being buffeted around. The car's leaving the road surface. Well, we're doing that on the calmest of races. Part of it is getting together as a team and getting your confidence in each other. establishing any doubts you might have on the day with the conditions, talking through a procedure, a strategy as you will, the competition, and basically just analysing what we're about to do.
As the propellers leave the water, obviously the engine's at over rev. The worst thing for a diesel engine is to over rev it. As the propellers come back in the water, get the power back on again and get the boat moving again.
Obviously, safety is a #1 concern, so the Riviera team leaves nothing to chance.
In the event of hitting something and sinking or an overturn, main thing is we make sure the engines are shut down. The first thing we do is reach for our air, establish that we both can breathe, do the buddy system, that both of us are okay, touch each other, thumbs up.
What travels with the team on the European race circuit are 4 to 6 mechanics plus a luxurious support vehicle that provides accommodation for up to 10 people and catering for the crew on the road. This engineering marvel has a main stateroom complete with ensuite and a walk-in wardrobe. It has a fully equipped workshop complete with spare race engines and even its own Aussie barbecue, something the wealthiest European teams don't have. While the similarity between the Riviera raceboat and the more luxurious Riviera cruisers may seem rather remote, in reality the raceboat has a surprising amount in common with the luxury cruisers, not the least of which is having been designed and built by the Riviera Group founder and chairman Bill Barry Cotter.
Over the years, we've changed structurally the way we build all the pleasure boats. We used to use all longitudinal stiffening, and we found in the race boats that that was too heavy and not strong enough. So we went to transverse stiffening, and now all the pleasure boats are built that way. And little things like the air over the propellers, which you would think would cause more problems, but it actually quietens the propeller noise down. We use that on most of the pleasure boats we build today. A lot of the sea handling characteristics we've learnt from the offshore racing. It's allowed us to lighten the boat and yet structurally make the boat a lot stronger boat. And being a lot stronger, it's a lot stiffer. While you're in the boat, it makes the boat feel like a better sea boat, because as the boat crashes through a wave, to disperse all that energy, if it's stiffer, it'll disperse it in, say, a second, where if it was a weaker boat, it'd take 3 or 4 seconds. So the boat appears to be a lot more seaworthy boat, which obviously it is.
This experience has led to the construction techniques used in every Riviera and Mariner built today, which have hand-laid solid fiberglass hulls and a unique stringer system of transverse and longitudinal bearers. There's a collision bulkhead forward and separate compartments throughout the hull for peace of mind. The floor is glued, screwed and fiberglassed into place while still in the mould, resulting in immense strength and crisp, precise handling. The design and building of every Riviera and Mariner takes place at the most advanced pleasure boat manufacturing facility in the Southern Hemisphere. Many millions of dollars are being invested every year in research and development to create more advanced designs for more sophisticated world markets. Over 500 of Australia's most talented designers and craftspeople are building the country's most awarded range of luxury cruisers, which are being eagerly embraced by discerning buyers around the world in over 22 countries. Of course, not all Riviera and Mariner owners want 150-mile-an-hour performance from their cruiser, and they may be seeking quality time rather than world record times. Fortunately, the Riviera Group is able to build a craft to satisfy you perfectly. So keep watching the progress of the Riviera powerboat as it takes on the world's best by logging on to the Riviera website. Riviera Racing. From the Riviera Group.
These are enduring symbols of excellence in today's world. Yet without a quality ethos and uncompromising commitment to excellence that is shared by all those who've created these brands, they would be nothing but meaningless shapes. In the same way, the Riviera Group is constantly striving to attain ever higher standards of quality in every luxury cruiser that wears this symbol, so that you can experience the ultimate quality time on the water. Come on a journey in the pursuit of excellence with the Riviera Group. Nearly 4 decades ago, a young shipwright named Bill Barry Cotter finished his apprenticeship and started a legend. From the first innovative Mariner cruisers to the creation of the Riviera brand in 1981, the focus has remained the same. Over the years, the product's quality and design integrity has grown stronger. So as new markets around the globe have been pioneered, the Riviera Group designers and craftspeople have strived to achieve even higher levels of build quality and finish. This ethic has taken the Riviera Group to where it is today, as the most awarded luxury cruiser manufacturer in Australian history. The company's work ethics have also earned it numerous trade and industry awards, including Queensland Exporter of the Year and Gold Coast Business of the Year awards. The Riviera Group doesn't just recruit quality people, it creates them.
My philosophy personally is to bring them straight out of school and train them 4 years through our apprenticeship scheme, where we train them not just on how to build a boat, but how to build their life.
The Riviera Group trains over 120 apprentices through its own industry-renowned in-house training scheme, working together with the TAFE state-run Technical Training Institute. Recruits are sourced directly from high schools, and training is commenced while students are still studying. So aspiring boat builders are trained in the culture and quality ethics of the Riviera Group right from the start.
It's very, very simple in life. Know right from wrong, be prepared to make the right decision.
Little wonder the Riviera Group graduates regularly achieve top honours when measured against their state and Australia-wide counterparts.
It's the award Shane McDonald and I got last October when we finished our time. It was on the Apprentice Awards night, and Riviera gave us Shane and I Apprentice of the Year and trip to the States to the Miami Boat Show.
The Riviera Group also takes pride in developing not only outstanding boat builders, but is helping to produce more motivated individuals who are fine young Australians as well.
The focus is to produce not just good boat builders, but to good citizens.
It's just so much of a thrill to come to work. The one single lesson that I probably learnt most here is just respect. Respect for people, respect for your quality of work. The Riviera Group has changed me completely.
I sort of set a standard for myself, and it's good to be able to say that, you know, you can look at something and say, well, you know, I built that.
The company's just grown and grown and grown, which is good for my future. I do plan on staying on with the company. They're looking after me well, helping me with my dreams.
Obviously, he's not just concerned with us building boats and getting products out and making dollars at the end of the day. He's concerned with our well-being, with our life outside of work, which directly affects our life inside of work.
We have a very rigorous selection process, and we have very high expectations of how our apprentices perform.
The company's efforts in training earned it the Gold Coast Ministers Training Initiative Award. Yet the quality culture goes beyond the workplace, as senior Riviera Group leaders mentor the new generation of boat builders to reach higher in all aspects of their lives, in personal relationships, financial planning, and setting worthwhile overall goals for their lives.
We bring in people that train us on quality culture. We bring in people that give us personal training on setting goals. The Riviera Group's changed my life in every way I would have thought possible. I'm very grateful that they've recognised the potential and given me the opportunities and training and assistance to get there and grow. I enrolled in an MBA that gave me more specific business skills and knowledge to apply those. and I'm 2 months away from completing that today.
It's not only the Riviera Group's own staff who share these quality ethics. Partnerships are formed with outside contractors and suppliers who embrace these same ideals and who demonstrate it in their unrelenting standards of the highest quality workmanship. They are individuals and organizations who seek out and use only premium quality materials and the world's leading brands of componentry. The Riviera Group's commitment to uncompromising quality is seen in its mission statement. To be a world-class Australian company producing quality marine products that exceed customer expectations, develops the skills of its employees, rewards its suppliers, and increases its employees', dealers' and shareholders' investments. The Riviera Group works in a spirit of achievement, fulfillment and empowerment, encourages collaboration and teamwork amongst employees and suppliers, and recognizes the outstanding efforts of all who create its products. The company strives to deliver fair value, displays an unerring commitment to be the best, shows responsibility to the community, acts with honesty and integrity, and achieves best quality and best cost. It looks to the future, welcomes change, encourages innovation in the people it employs and the products it creates. The company has built and is continually expanding a facility which is recognized as the most advanced pleasure boat manufacturing facility in the Southern Hemisphere, where over 500 craftspeople produce more than 350 boats a year. The company is investing millions of dollars a year in research and new product development, an investment which is paying handsome dividends, from the inspired styling of the Riviera Flybridge cruisers to the exciting Mariner Express range. Innovation in design has also extended beyond the Gold Coast manufacturing facility to collaborating with the world's leaders in boat design. Top naval architects have helped Riviera Group designers develop advanced new models, while tank testing at a leading facility in the UK has ensured superior hull performance even before construction has commenced. State-of-the-art 2- and 3-dimensional software programs help designers in developing craft for a new age. Sleek contemporary designs are taking the Riviera Group's new product development into exciting new areas and capturing the imagination of the global market.
The quality side of it has dramatically changed over the last really 5 to 10 years.
The quality is being lifted as well, because the people have a cohesion of seeing the boat from the beginning to the end that they haven't been able to see before.
The company has adopted a truly global focus in all aspects of design, luxury appointments and build quality to satisfy the diverse and high standards of international markets.
The owners that I normally bump into overseas boat shows are always absolutely full of praise of the product. The boat is a passionate thing where people are very involved in it. It sort of becomes part of their life.
Today, discerning boat owners are embracing the Riviera Group's range of luxury cruisers in more than 22 markets around the globe through an ever-expanding international network of dealers. The Riviera Group strives to exceed not only quality standards, but speed limits as well, as it competes in UIM Class 1 offshore powerboat racing, the equivalent of Formula 1 on the water. Team Riviera has achieved podium finishes in international Class 1 offshore powerboat racing and has won numerous Australian titles.
You still keep trying to make the thing better. That's what you keep chasing. It's the same thing as playing with that race boat. You think, oh, when I do the next one, it'll be better. And that's really what you're doing with every new product here.
Seeking to build on its proven success, Team Riviera has now built a new boat for the fiercely competitive Class 2 category to race against the world's best teams. In keeping with the company's tradition for innovation, the Riviera Class 2 boat has one engine instead of its competitors' 2 engines and has already recorded speeds in excess of the world record. The company believes in not only building quality boats, but together with its dealer network, creating quality boating experiences.
This is indicative of the business these people run. They run a club, and a damn good one, and you're all members of it, and you'll share in it and have a great time. Keep having a great time.
That whole community, that whole thing about the Riviera, I think is a great thing as well. That you see other ones out there where you go into a bay and you don't know them, you'll still go and say hi and, you know, have a drink and stuff like that. It's good fun.
I've always dreamt about having something like this. I love my fishing, I love cruising, and it's just a great boat to have. This is it, dream fulfilled.
The result for the customer is automatically positive, and they'll be happy. They'll tell all their friends, buy a Riviera because it's a quality product. Buy a Mariner, it's a quality product.
It's not only owners who have recognized the Riviera Group's quality standards. Critics and journalists around the world have praised the performance, the finish, and the build quality of the Riviera Group's lineup. The Riviera Group believes this commitment to quality must also extend to the dealership. Superior standards of presentation and customer service are what keeps the quality feeling alive long after a luxury cruiser has left the factory. The company is also mindful that keeping dealers and staff motivated to achieve higher standards means nurturing a spirit of collaboration and teamwork. The Riviera Group has ongoing commitment to the community, not only by adopting environmentally responsible manufacturing processes, but working closely with the community, with underprivileged groups and with the government.
What a fantastic place you got here. What a fantastic atmosphere. Quite frankly, I am very excited to be here. And as Wesley said, if you want a quality product, if we are going to showcase Australia to the rest of the world as a quality product, we can only do it if we have quality people.
For the Riviera Group, the pursuit of quality never ends.
I think, you know, if you sit back and say, well, like, we're here, we've arrived, this is good enough, all it can do is go backwards.
The pursuit of quality is not a destination. It's a never-ending journey. Come, share the journey aboard one of the luxury cruisers from the Riviera Group.